Oh, it's cold coffee. Cold coffee. So if you've been coming to this channel, you know what we do here is we try to deconstruct the creative process, mainly through dialogue. But I want to take it a step further and start to do the same type of deconstruction, but through the use of tutorials or trainings or tips and tricks, whatever you want to call it. But we're starting a new segment around these types of tutorials, and I'm going to try and do them in roughly 3 to 2 minutes. One of the tools I use online is Microsoft Teams. Now, if you're not familiar with Microsoft Teams, it's similar to a product called Slack. And so in this first inaugural tutorial, our first premiere tutorial, we're going to talk about conversations in Teams. You know, it's not about the conversation itself. That's up to you. What's the dialogue you want to spark? But it's really about how do you make the conversation work on a technical level? So enough with that. I'll put a timer on the screen and you can time me to make sure I do it in 2 minutes, you know, give or take. All right, let's go.
Right now we're looking at a team and a channel. And I just want to give you 3 key things to keep in mind when starting a conversation and collaborating with others. If I'm going to start a new conversation, say around a document I want to work on with a colleague, I want to then click this little A symbol here, which allows me to have the rich text editor. Why this is important is because you always want to start a new conversation with the subject. So in this case, I'm going to share out a presentation deck that I'd like someone to review as an example. Why that's important is because then later that conversation can be searched against and it separates all of the other conversations so that you know which to look for when trying to reference back to that topic. Also, an important note is that you want to use the @ symbol to call out the very specific people whom you want to pay attention to this rather than the entire channel. So here I'll put a note to Dorian. Now I don't stop there and I just send it. I actually can click this link and I can choose to use a OneDrive content, something that's on my computer, something I recently worked on. We'll take a look at recent, and let's say I'm going to send them this basic document here, this PowerPoint. And so what this does now, once I send it, we can reference this content. It's taken a while to upload, of course, it's a pretty big one. Okay, so I've created a subject line. I've called out whom I want to work on the content with. I've made a pointer to the content, no long, ugly hyperlinks, and the content's ready to go. I can then click the send button and it's ready for his viewing. If I made a mistake or I want to wait on it, I actually can mouse over the message and click this ellipses and choose delete. On the flip side, if you're receiving this message, it's incumbent upon you to then either click the thumbs up or the like message to just show acknowledgement, or simply make a reply in kind.
Okay, so here's a quick recap. Number 1, use the subject line. This makes for a quick visual cue in large conversation threads, as well as making for easier search. Number 2, @ someone. If you only need 1 or 2 people to respond, use the @ symbol and then their name or email to get their attention, not the whole team. Number 3, use embedded links. Don't just copy and paste long or confusing links. Highlight a word that can serve as your embedded link and using Control K or Command K to get that link inside your conversation.
That's it. We'll see you in traffic.